Please like and subscribe and share so I can think my dad is cool.
What's up? Shop Talk Podcast. We're live from the workbench. This is episode 22. I don't know, what is this? July 30th? Something like that. Crazy week. And also why this podcast may be a little short. You got a lot of different things happening out there. We'll talk a little bit about the CJ McCollum podcast with KD. And also why it may be a little short this week. And I apologize for that. I've been really busy this week. And also I visited the wrong, I had my Joe Rogan experience visiting the wrong church. Get into that a little bit. And then also YouTube took down one of my videos. I don't know how it'll be in the description. I don't even know if it will be in the description, but mainly the one reason it was the 10th episode of the Shop Talk podcast. So it was like 3 months ago it's been up, and they finally took it down. Said inappropriate content. Basically, I think it had more or less to do something with the tags in it. If people know about that, some people don't. So I know it's irrelevant. But they didn't. They kind of pussyfooted around about what it was. And I just had a really busy week. I've got my 3 kids here with me, which if you ever listened to this before, they're not here all together all the time. So, I got my son's first birthday party coming up tomorrow, and also I'm cooking after the podcast. Actually, I'm doing this. Sometimes I'll do it ahead of time. A lot of people record their stuff way ahead of time, like a week ahead of time. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. So right after this, and it is 11:41 p.m. Eastern Time, I am going to watch this Aim 'em and Claim 'em. He's got a channel on YouTube. He's got a giveaway going on. That doesn't come on until 2 a.m. Eastern Time, or Central Time. And I've got to cook roughly 4 pounds of pasta for pasta salad. And then also I got to wake up pretty early and cook. Well, we have 100 brats. I don't know how many of them I'm going to cook. And 30 hot dogs. We have 60 hot dogs just in case. So that'll be interesting in itself because I never cooked that amount of food at one time. And, yeah. Never cooked this much pasta salad either. So, just a quick heads up. And also, I will be posting sometime next week a very short video of just some of the cooking I'm going to be doing. And also for this week, I hope you've already seen it. It is What's for Dinner, and it is taco pizza. And you guys should check it out. I do it a little bit differently than most people. And there's only actually one way that's different than an actual pizza shop. Excuse me. So where the pizza shop will use pizza sauce, I'm actually using taco sauce, and it's medium heat-wise. So on to the Kevin Durant. If you're not hip or you're living under a rock, or you just don't care, because I wasn't even going to put this in the podcast this week. I know it's NBA news, but it's not. To me, it's not really news. I already knew how Kevin Durant is. Excuse me. So, CJ McCollum is a shooting guard for the Portland Trail Blazers, and he has a podcast which actually I never have heard. Also, everybody has a podcast nowadays. Kevin Durant was a guest on it. And a lot of people said that he kind of went over the line about what he said, just referring to the Trailblazers, that they were never going to you're never going to win an NBA championship. And but C.J. McCollum was saying it was it was a soft move for Kevin Durant to sign with the Golden State Warriors, and actually almost everybody out there agreed with C.J. McCollum. I don't blame him. There's not much for me to talk about this other than the fact that if you listen to last week's podcast and my message to the Warriors, it also had a lot of other good NBA news in there. Thank you very much. You'll see. I mean, they're sore winners and they're sore losers, and I think in Kevin Durant's case, almost every single player that's a starter on the Golden State Warriors, it all goes back to that. Just listen to that podcast. I'm not going to keep reiterating myself. They're sore winners and they're sore losers, but I don't know if one way or the other, if I hate one more or the other. But sore winners is pretty bad. And sorry, this week is not going to be very funny. I almost thought about taking the week off, but what can you do? And then also you had the DeMar DeRozan trade, which we talked a little bit about before. But, man, he is awful salty about the GM keeping him in the dark, which I understand. It's your first breakup in the league. Yeah, Kevin Love re-signs with the Cavs. Actually, I think that was a good signing. And then you also had Clint Capella re-signing with the Houston Rockets. But if you listen to the NBA, you already know that. So I don't even know if I should even talk about the video getting taken down, because the only thing that pisses me off about is that I use YouTube as the platform which goes to iTunes. Okay, so even when you don't see a whole lot of views on YouTube, which is fine, it uploads from YouTube. It hosts the podcast. So it deleted it from iTunes. And I tried to read into it, and I need to go back and listen to the episode and actually hear if I said anything. But basically, it was the Cinco de Mayo episode. And that could be why, but I highly doubt it, because my wife's Hispanic. But even if that isn't the case, I just really don't know why they would take it down. I've seen some other things on YouTube where they have taken it down. But you guys, you have different guys out there. I'm not going to mention any names that do podcasts, and they also put them up on YouTube. And they're not taking down any of their episodes, but they're also not hosting from YouTube. So I don't even think they really know that. I've said worse stuff. That's what I'm going to say. So I have no idea why they did that. We could talk about me going to the wrong church. Not necessarily the wrong church. It's just very awkward and I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's because I was raised Catholic, but I don't really know what I believe anymore. I've been to some other churches. I haven't been to the Catholic Church since I was confirmed. So since I was a very young man. And actually, I've went back once since, and it was maybe 2 years ago. But I've been to some other Christian churches, and my wife informed me for my son's birthday, she wanted to have a prayer said for him. I thought that was kind of cool. And actually, this church is in town, and I thought, as a kid, I used to skate there in the parking lot, because that's where you skate a lot of times when you don't have anything to skate on. So I didn't really think anything about it. She said it was a Christian church. So, and first of all, I would just want to say that everybody that I met there was very, very nice. Maybe a little too inquisitive with their questions, but not really, not too intrusive. And I don't even know if I'll say what denomination it is, but when I tell you some of the stuff that maybe they were talking about, it wasn't a sermon because it was just basically not really a dinner. It was just, Jesus. Yeah, Jesus. It wasn't a serum or whatever you want to call it. But they just had a dinner after their prayer, whatever, thing. Which we didn't go to that part. We just went to the dinner part of it. And it wasn't really even dinner. It was like tacos, something easy to cook up. But very nice. I will say it was very nice. Leading to some of the stuff that they were saying. And at first, it took a while for it to set in, but I eventually knew, not necessarily I didn't want to be there, but I knew that I wasn't where I thought I was, if that makes any sense. And, just hit a couple shit.
Who the fuck said that?
Yeah, it makes me feel better. Oh, we'll get into a story about that, too. That happened today. Fuck it. We'll just kill the church thing for a second. So, me and my wife drive down to get my daughter, and I'm not going to say what town this is in, but basically there is no freeway system that runs through this town, or even close to it. Maybe 7 to 8 miles each way. So if you don't know how to get to this town, you're not going to find it. So all the people that still live there are all the people that pretty much have always been there. And there's only a few different people, if that tells you anything. Actually, I lived there for about a year. We will say it is west of Circleville, Ohio. That holds the oldest, it's not a festival. Oh, what the hell would you call it? Anyways, it's called the Pumpkin Show. Anybody can find it out there. It's all on Wikipedia. Oldest in the U.S. It's not a carnival. Anyways, that's where we'll say it's at. So, my wife, we pick her up. I pick up my daughter. And we're driving down the street. She makes a turn to go, obviously, back home. And this guy's crossing the street with a stroller, and he has another kid behind him. And we weren't necessarily close to him at all. And he was pissed that he thought we were going too fast or something. I could just tell. That's what he thought. And he's shaking his head, and I just fucking lost it. I mean, talk about rage, And so I roll down the fucking window, and I'm like, let me see if I can even get this right. I'm like, God damn, fumble that one. But I roll down the window because I just lost my shit. I'm like, you motherfucking piece of shit. Then I realize I'm the fucking psycho in the car, of course, with my daughter in the car. And nothing against, I think he was wearing a Marine shirt, but just the look on his face. And he wasn't pissed at me. He was pissed at my wife. But I took great offense to it because she didn't do anything wrong. And we weren't speeding. And for one, you're walking your kid in a stroller down the side of the fucking road. Is that my fucking problem? No. I don't know. I just lost my shit. But that's been the last few days. And I don't know why. It's just all the stress of this whole week. Whole week coming up. But, okay, back to the church stuff.
Who the fuck said that?
I just want to hear it again.
Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant.
And that's how I felt. I mean, I don't fucking care. I mean, I appreciate that you served. And I'll make this statement somewhat cavalier, because I am the number one Cavs fan. Yeah, there are a lot of great people that served, and I am very respectful that they took the time out of their lives and risked their lives and for our freedom. I got that. But you got to also understand, in the different, it doesn't matter what it is, Marines, they wanted me to go in the fucking Marines a few, years ago. What I'm saying is, if you fuck up real bad and you get a felony, they're like, if you enlist into this branch, well, that'll go away. I'm just saying, there is a great percentage of people that were enlisted or went in, and they were fuck up. And I understand that. And it would be a good job to have, because the retirement's good. Well, I say the timeline of the retirement is good. I don't know. That's besides the point. All I'm saying is a lot of fuck-ups go in. And obviously, I don't know. But I would, if I seen somebody that I thought maybe wasn't from there and I thought maybe they were speeding, maybe I'd be pissed too if I was walking down the street. But if I wasn't close to them, if they weren't close to me, if they weren't in danger of harming me, I don't think I'd be pissed. I don't know. I try to look at through his shoes. So back to the church story. So we get there. We go in. Everything's fine. Everybody's nice. Everybody's very nice. And my wife, there's a person there that kind of basically invited us that she knew from her past employer. And it looked to be that she was a nurse too, because she just got off work and she was in scrubs. And everybody was super nice. And I've been to some, a couple, Catholicism, you're not really that outgoing. But I've been to World Harvest. I've been to a couple different churches that people are very, I don't know, you'd say they have the Holy Ghost or whatever. You know what I mean. Just more active. And, but I heard, I don't remember what part of the Bible it was from, and because I'm not good on that. And again, I don't even know what the hell I believe or, anyways. So, but just the part of I didn't know they were going to do this after their dinner. I thought they had their little prayer thing, and then I don't know. Maybe this was a part of it. So anyways, he was talking about sacrificing certain things, and he wasn't talking about sacrificing cigarettes or alcohol or anything like that, He was talking about sacrificing animals and different things, and then, so if you're listening, you know where I'm you know what denomination is. And it was at first, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't, everybody was so nice, and they were asking questions about, where we lived and stuff like that. I've been to other churches, and they haven't been as nice. But I wasn't as creeped out before either. So, it's all wrapping up. My wife had to take our son to a little part of the kid area, just so the adults could hear the guy speak or whatever, the pastor. So everything's fine. Everybody's super nice. But then we go up, and they were going to say a prayer for the baby, which I thought was fine, but I thought this was going to be completely different than what it really was. And at this point, before this even happened, I wanted to leave. I wanted to just go find her, get my son, leave. But I was trying to be as respectful to these people and also to my wife's wishes or whatever, too. So I'm like, I'll just go through with it. And finally, her friend, the person that she knew, called her to come over from the kid area. And then so we go up for the prayer. And this is where I realize I'm not where I think I really am. I thought it was a Christian church, blah, blah, blah. It is, but it's not. So why this is all going on before that, I should just say that people are doing thank you, Jesus, hallelujah, blah, blah, blah. They're, okay, that's fine. I respect that, and that's fine. It was a little much for me, but it wasn't too much. Again, I've been to a church where there was a guy jumping around like a pogo stick during some song, and I'm like, this is pandemonium, but at the same time, this guy's crazy. And he was just some hype man for the preacher or whatever you want to call him. So anyways, so we go back up. Well, we go up to have them say a prayer and everything. Everything's fine at first. And then I realize they're all like putting their hand on my son's head and putting their hand on my wife's head. They're not doing it to me. And then one of them put their hand on my shoulder. And I don't have a problem with that. That's all fine. But they're doing if you could just hear them. And it was getting, as they're saying the prayers, they're all saying different prayers. It's getting louder and louder and louder. And my anxiety was just boiling. I mean, I wanted to literally fly out of my skin and run out of that place. And the funny thing is I didn't. And then even afterwards, even other people that we never met before were so nice. But man, I've never been in a more awkward situation in my whole life, and I will never do that again. Never. Never ever do it again. But if you want to know what kind of denomination it was, they were talking about sacrificing things. So just go with that. It starts with the penta, like the pentagram. It just freaked me out. But again, if anyone out there from this hears this, if they were there, everybody out there was super nice. But I'll never put myself or my kid or even my wife in that situation again. But yeah, sorry about that. The podcast ain't funny this week. But I felt like this during when they're all saying their prayers, and it just got louder and louder and louder and louder, and I was like, is this going to stop? It was like a bad roller coaster ride.
Who the fuck said that?
Yeah, that's how I felt. I wanted to jump out of my skin. So, I've got to get on to cooking this stuff. I can't. I will work on some more material. This week we were scrambling around, going and buying different stuff. I mean, driving to other towns almost every other day, doing certain things, really scrambling around, and it wore us all out. And we were ill prepared.
It's not sudden. Preparation.
But I hope you guys all have a good week out there. Let's see. Did I get the right one? Okay.
Please like and subscribe and
Seems
share
acting
so
weird.
I can think my dad is cool.
Yeah, he thinks his dad's cool. He loves this podcast, by the way. He's my number one fan. And then I've got some more cooking stuff coming up next week. I know you guys are into that. I'm going to have some of this up, but I also have a new recipe. And hopefully we can get back in schedule onto the Sunday that we normally do. But I do have some pretty good news coming up. I believe so, next week. I'll find out Monday, and I can't wait to this little roller coaster of a week. Actually, it's been a few weeks. Just getting to this point. I just can't wait till this party's over. Can't wait to see some of my old friends, and see their wives and hang out with everybody and see some of my family. And I'm really, really thankful for that. And I appreciate everybody out there that listens, watches, subscribes, likes, and shares. You guys have a great week.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?
Got me thinking, I remember the time.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?
Ain't no changing what's left.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?
Because we all race against death.
Can it be that it was all so simple